What's going on, gamers? What's going on, exposers? And what's going on, world? So, IGN here is just showing that it's more confused and idiotic, very idiotic. They are going to say here that Dragon Age the Veilguard is awkwardly in conflict with itself. Keep in mind, they gave it a 9 out of 10. We're going to get right into that. Torn into pieces that reflect a sequel to a decade-old RPG and a fresh beginning with no ties to what came before. Now, if you would have did this at first and gave it like a 6 and 7 out of 10, which it deserves, that would have been fine, right? But we all know they're in bed with the, commies and the far left and all that. And IGN is just trash. And they're nowhere near where they used to be back in the Xbox 360 days, right? When they were actually solid. And there's some funny comments to reflect on here. One, let's see what Grum says. He says, grifting is when you pander to an audience while not really believing what you say. IGN is grifting. That would be an appropriate definition of that rather than, people trying to use it when they don't have any intelligent reasoning or validation to, have a good debate with you and defend what they want to defend, which is obviously corrupt. It says IGN is grifting here by walking back their 9 out of 10 review of Dragon Age Veilguard. And I really believed it was a good game, obviously, because they're paid off and you know how that works. They were espousing a narrative. When sales were trash, they just moved on to pretending it was never really good in the first place, meaning all the stuff fell down and now they're doing that. Kind of try to blend in, but as soon as they tried, we're all jumping on them and smashing them into the ground because we're not going to have it because it's fake, being two-faced. Leftists love to attack anyone with a source of income and has redefined the word grifting to mean anyone who earns a living. This is disingenuous at its face. It's the same thing with DEI, right? The original meaning of it is just it's naturally part of creation, the way the creator creates things. Like I said, you see certain cultures being good at what they're good at, other cultures being good at what they're good at, and then they try to take that and use it as a corporate agenda and just make the definition look bad. You can do this with anything. You can do it with religion, with science, with whatever. As long as you got the wrong entities in there, they can make any definition that's could look good naturally bad. Period. Um, so getting back to them, let's go over here and take a look at this review. Right, Dragon Age: The Veilguard refreshes and revigorates. Look how different this is. A storied series that stumbled through its middle years and leaves no doubt that it deserves its place in the RPG pantheon. No. The next Mass Effect is going to have a very tough act to follow. Not really. Which is not something I ever imagined I'd be saying before I got swept away on this adventure. Man, just even reading that is enough, right? It's like, what a load of bullshit. Enjoyable action combat, a fantastic cast of allies. No, a ruined cast of companions because of the weirdo Baphomet spirit that wanted to enforce its entire ideology on the younger generation and us who were not going to accept that and reject it, with sweeping story arcs all their own. No. Top notch cinematics and moving, nuanced character writings. No, not writing. Wrong again. Are the wings of whence this triumph dragon soars. See, look at all this garbage. Like some rainbow person is writing this. Pulling out all the steps or stops. I got rainbow affected for a second. I couldn't read. Let me clear that up. Uh, Pulling out all the stops in a whirlwind tour of northern thetas and capping it with a terrific finale that's built on memorable tough choices and consequences. If we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note. Ah, man. No. It was a turd that fell in Satan's hell. Okay, so the sacrifice I had to make in the closing hours hurt the wise decisions I may pay off. Hold on, let's go up here and let's take a look at this. By the way, they gave Inquisition, which is actually a good Dragon Age, an 8.8, so apparently this is better than that. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's take a look at some of these comments here. You guys gave it a 9 out of 10, called it the best Dragon Age has ever been, gave it bonus points for its weird non-binary shit. 99% of us reject. I've said this before, it's like, when you look at, like, the history of the gaming community, right? It's the same thing with Star Wars and anything else in life that people have built and supported, and you know, their whole life, um, all the way from like 1988, to now, to my 40 plus years, pretty much, right? How was that built upon? What type of community and what type of people was male and female, right? It was people that loved real video game content, real video games with real developers in there. None of this stuff was affecting it whatsoever. And that's what it's built around. And then you try to slap that in front of their face and then they reject it. And somehow you want to put these labels all over them, censor them, and do all this nonsense where it's like you tried to enforce it on an audience that you should have never enforced it upon. And you thought that you would get away with it. You thought they would eat it up, pay you $70, rate it good, and it would sell millions. You hoped and dreamed for that, right? Same thing with Star Wars when you try to, I mean, look at the Acolyte, right? Abysmal failure, terrible acting, and then try to say it's because of people on the right and they're racist. It's like, no, you suck at acting and you don't belong in that protagonist position. You're not qualified. It's a DEI hire. Know the audience of Star Wars and who it's filled with. Same thing with the gaming industry. Know who are the developers, right? 97% of it, right? It's Caucasians and Asians. And anyone else that's in that position that's not, you're qualified. It's not a problem to me. And that's just a natural diversity of those cultures that are very, very advanced to be able to do this type of work. Whereas I said, you go to other cultures, they're advanced in what they do. That's the natural diversity of life. You know what I mean? Not trying to make other people fit in there because they want to get in there on the glory of those cultures because that's what they are embedded to do and that's what they're good at. And like I said, anyone else that's not in there, I mean, it's just you're qualified, so there's no problem. That's my thing with it is that the unqualification, the enforcement, the narrative agendas, and ruining the quality of things that we cared about for decades that we supported. And you want to come in there and tear it down. I think we don't have the right to tear you down. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is one of the very sacred things in the world now that people can like go to and have a good time and kind of have some type of paradise, right? And they just want to ruin that too. If they could get away with it, they would. So imagine the position that they really want your world in that you come home to after you get up and go to work, or for people to just, this is the best thing in your life. You don't have to be nice to those people. They're trash. And IGN, like I said, they're sellouts and they're fake. But going on some more of these comments. Oh, hey, it's a website that gave God Hand a 3 out of 10. IGN is awkwardly in conflict with itself, torn into pieces that reflect a downfall to decade-old journalistic integrity it used to have in favor of a sellout new beginning to promote identity politics instead of merit and good quality games, movies, or TV shows. Exactly what I was talking about, because that's what we want. You're essentially contradicting your own review, the one where you gave it a 9 out of 10, then you give it a 9. See, people are just like, you know what I mean? This is not just like something that we're just sitting over here doing to get clickbait. No, it's like it needs to be exposed because it's fake. You know what I mean? And they're in bed with those same individuals. We know who works there. The game has no ties to the past 9 out of 10. And it's people posted in here, so 9 out of 10 equals awkwardly a conflict with itself. I broke down the article piece by piece recently. Glad more people are seeing this now. So why'd you give it a 9 out of 10? So, I mean, this is a constant pattern as we're seeing here. Worst dialogue writing in any game I've ever seen. What's the matter, IGN and EA's check bounce? We all know you gave it a 9 out of 10. This guy says you gave it a glowing review. He's basically calling it bullcrap. That is nasty, but, some people have a different type of humor. But, going down here, we kind of get the picture here, right? What's going on, IGN? I mean, come on, man. We can do better than this. But this is kind of what I wanted to cover on this. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. As you know, I'll be doing this for years and ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep exposing this and we want to get our gaming industry back and get it back to that light, that masculine principle, like the sun shining in it, right? Because we got to help the Japanese out. They're carrying hard. And I just love to see Western developers get back to being great. So we can have a balance between the East and the West, you know what I mean? Get back to that masculine principle, you know? That's what we want. And, that's why people playing those older games, because they have that in there. You feel that love and that quality in there. But we're going to get back there. Things are doing good. The political tides are shifting. They're going to get out. They're going to get fired. Going to get rid of these scumbags. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Peace out. Like, subscribe. I'll be out.